I believe unconditional love, to the very basic definition of it, is really to be able to love with zero condition. And I believe it's also a state of being as opposed to how things look. But if it's possible or not, there's a lot of factors that goes into it. And in order to be unconditionally loving, it requires a certain amount of agency, it requires a certain amount of self-awareness, and it requires a certain amount of being rooted in your true self. So no matter what happens around you, you are still unconditionally loving because this is who you are. It has nothing to do with anybody around you. That's who you are. How you react to other people is going to be based on who you are, and it's going to be based on also your boundaries, because you're unconditionally loving to yourself as well as unconditionally loving to the people around you. And it's not validation, it's not attachment, it's really love. So it's really like a state of being. So that's why for me, if you're unconditionally loving, whether you're in a romantic relationship or not, you are still unconditionally loving because that's who you are. Even if you decide to be with somebody else. Because the thing is, like, if you're unconditionally loving to, for example, your children, but you're not unconditionally loving to your partner, then you're not really 100% unconditionally loving. Those are still conditioned. And it doesn't mean that you have to be with somebody. It doesn't have to be to be that you need to do anything specific with that person and be attached to them or whatever. It's really, do you act in an unconditionally loving way in everything that you do? Whether it's with the person directly with you or from afar. Because you can love somebody who's suffering and who's mean without having any interaction with them, but you don't have any resentment against them, you don't have any judgment against them. You're like, that's where they are. And God created them, if you believe in God or the universe or whatever. So they're still valuable. But they're not for me, they're not at my frequency, but I don't judge them. So that's the way that I understand unconditional love. And I like the squinty third eye, because I feel like it's really that. You need to be more conscious, more self-aware. It's almost like a state of enlightenment to be able to become unconditionally loving. And I feel like in order, as we become more conscious, we aspire to get there. It's kind of like a scale. You inch your way towards being more and more unconditionally loving, knowing that it's going to be very difficult, and maybe not in this lifetime you'll be able to get it, but that's the goal as far as I'm concerned. That's the way that I see it.